Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fatah. I'm student from Sakti Universitas Bekasi, Fakultas Pendidikan, Studi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris. Here I will explain about introduction, teaching, and testing or assessment. Lesson language testing. Lesson 1. Okay, next. Contents. What is a test? Why test? Qualities of a good test. Some measurement, test, evaluation, and assessment. Relationship between measurement, test, evaluation, and assessment. Relationship between test or us and teaching. Formative and summative assessment. Formal versus informal assessment. Traditional versus alternative assessment. Question to think about and homework. Okay, next. What is a test? Inevitable artificial degrading. Our tests make us feel much of the time necessary effort tournament. Anything positive about test? Definition: a method of measuring a person's ability, knowledge, or performance in a given domain. Next, what is a test? We can to click a test. First is consistently provide accurate measures of precisely the ability in which we are interested. Have a beneficial effect on teaching. Be economical in terms of money and time. For example, the purpose of testing in this class. Next, what is the purpose of testing in language learning? To measure language of proficiency results of any language courses that candidates may have followed. To discover how far students have achieved to objective course of study. To diagnose students' strengths and weakness, to identify what they know and what they do not know. To assist placement of students by identifying the state or part of teaching program most appropriate for their ability. The next, Y test or group work. Measure students' level, divide them in measure student level, divide them into the right categories. That's what they have learned. Give students grades. Put pressure on students concentrating in class. Now, whether students understand or not. It's some purpose EA admission. Diagnose students' weakness and strength. Next, why test? First, to gather information. Achievement of plans. Selection among competitors. Comparison for levels or ranking. Examination or evaluation on teaching methods. Identification of problem area. Second, to reinforce learning and to motivate students. The next, assessment and testing. First, test. Prepare administrative procedures, identifiable times in a curriculum. Time contains a subset of assessment. Second, assessment, ongoing process, much wider domain, evaluated by test takers' performance and response. Test traditional. Next test, traditional paper and pencil test. A product designed to get a specific sample of person's ability at given time. So time constraint limit sample of behavior. Measurement, investment. The next, assessment. A set of process through which we make judgment about one's level of skill and knowledge. Would situation include over time an ongoing process, includes multiple samples of behavior, not just one single judgment or test. Relationship between teaching and testing or assessment. A partnership relationship testing not simply follow teaching. Testing should be supportive of good teaching and have a corrective influence on bad teaching. Depending on purpose of the test. To reinforce learning motivates students a meaning of assessing as performance. Okay, next. Okay, relationship between test or assessment and teaching. Okay, you can look. There is the picture circle, and this there is test, assessment, and teaching. Okay, next. Teachers teachers' role in testing. Write better tests themselves might qualify T versus a good test marker, but reserve on professional tester to improve their test. E.g. test of written English in TOEFL. Next, formal versus informal assessment. Formal assessment, systematic plan. All tests are formal assessment, but not all formal assessment testing external portfolio formal assessment, but are not tests. The next, formal assessment. Some formal assessment provide teachers with a systematic way to evaluate how well students are progressing in particular instruction program. For example, after completing a 4 to 6 week term, teachers will want to know how well students have learned the skills and concepts. They may give all the students a test in which students read, answer question, and work about similar concepts. This type of assessment allows the teachers to evaluate all the students systematically on the important skill and concept in them by using real reading and writing experience that fit with the instruction in other situations, or for certain student teachers make use a skill test to examine specific skill or strategies taught in the next, formal versus informal assessment. Second, informal assessment embed in classroom to elicit performance without recording result and making fixed judgment about a student's competence, e.g. marginal comment on papers. Next, informal assessment, including special activities such as group or individual projects, experiments, oral presentations, demonstrations, or performance. Some informal assessment may be drawn from typical classroom activities such as assessment, journal, essay, report, literature, discussion groups, or reading aloud. Other times, it will be difficult to show student progress using actual work, so teacher will need to keep notes or checklists to record their observation from student teacher conference or informal classroom interaction. Sometimes informal assessment is as simple as stopping during instruction to observe or to discuss with the student how learning is progressing. Any of these types of assessment can be made more formal by specifying guidelines for what and how to do, or they can be quite informal, letting students and teachers adjust to individual needs. Next, formative and summative assessment. First, formative assessment, evaluating us in process of forming the competence and skills, rules helping them continue the growth process. A future continuation for our formation of learning ongoing development of their language. Okay, the delivery by the teacher and internalization by the student of appropriate feedback and performance, e.g. most classroom assessment. The next, formative and summative assessment. Second, summative assessment to measure, uh, summarize what has class at the end of course or unit, not necessarily point the way to future progress. Final exam, general proficiency exam. Next, traditional versus alternative assessment first. Traditional assessment, one should time usually the contextualist, summative, product oriented, focus on the right answer. Next, traditional versus alternative assessment second. Alternative assessment continuous long-term assessment on time, contextualist, communicative, formative, progress oriented, open, and creative answer. The next question about thing. All them summative, it is possible to convert tests into learning experience. Again, is testing a necessary evil. What can we use test for? Next, problems of many tests. Poor quality, fail to measure accurately what is intended to be measured. No partial, a harmful effect on teaching or learning. Backwash or washback. Definition, the effect of testing on teaching or learning. Harmful or negative backwash. Rating test with multiple choice items. Beneficial, positive backwash. A good test should be valid, be reliable, be participable, have beneficial backwash. Okay, I think enough from I explain about teaching and testing assessment. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.